Welcome back to my channel Hasno Fikri. Like now we will discuss about uh, how wor- how carburetor works. Fuel plus air equal motion. That's the basic science behind most of the vehicles that travel on land, over sea through the sky. Cars, truck, and buses turn fuel into power by mixing it with air and burning it in metal cylinders inside their engines. Exactly how much fuel and air an engine needs varies from moment to moment, depending on how long it's been running, how fast you're you're going, and a variety of other factors. Modern engines use an electronically controlled system called fuel injection to regulate the fuel air mixture so it's exactly right from the minute you turn the key to the time you switch the engine off again when you reach your destination. But until these clever gadgets were invented, virtually all engines relied on ingenious air fuel mixing device called carburator. What are the what are they and how they work? Let's take a close look. How engine burn fuel. Engine a mechanical thing, but they're chemical thing too. They designed around a chemical reaction called combustion. When you burn fuel in air, you release heat energy and produce carbon dioxide and water as waste product. To burn fuel efficiently, you have to use plenty of air that applies just as much to a car engine as to a candle and other compare or coal or wood fire in someone home. With a camper, you never really have worry about having too much to little air while fire burning indoors. Air is in shorter supply and far more important. Having too little oxygen will cause an indoor fire to produce the dangerous air pollution, including toxic carbon monoxide gas. With a car engine, it is a bit more complex. If you have just enough atoms of oxygen to burn all your atom of fuel, that's called a stoichiometric mixture. The case of a car engine, the ratio is usually around 14 14.7 parts of air to 1 part of fuel. Too much air and enough to too much air and not enough fuel means an engine burns land, while having too much fuel and enough air is called burning rich. Having slightly too much air will give better fuel economy, while having slightly too little will give better performance. Having far too much air is just as bad as having far too little, but are bad for the engine is indifferent. Why? What is carburetor? The carburetor is called the heart of automobile and it cannot be expanded. That the engine will act right, give the proper horsepower or run smoothly if its heart is not performing its function properly. Gasoline engines are designed to make it exactly the right amount of air so the fuel burns properly. Whether the engine is starting from cold or running hot and at top speed, getting the fuel air mixture just right is the job of a clever mechanical gadget called a carburator. A tube that allows air and fuel into the engine's valve, mixing them together in different amount to suit a wide range of different driving conditions. Who invented the carburetor? Carburetors have been around since the late 13th and 19th century when they were first developed by automobile pioneer Carl Benz. The diagram which I've colored to make it easier to follow. So the original Benz carburetor design from 1888, the basic working principle remains the same to this day. How does a carburetor work? Carburetor vary equally a bit in design and complexity. The simplest possible one is essentially a large vertical air pipe above the engine cylinder with a horizontal fuel pipe chained onto one side. As as the airflow down the pipe is has cause its pressure to fall. This kind section is called a venturi. The filing pressure of the air creates a sucking effect that draw air in through the fuel pipe at the side. The airflow pulls in fuel to join it, which is just what we need. But how can we adjust the air air and fuel mixture? The carburetor has two sealing valves above and below the venturi. At the top there's a valve called the Q that regulates how much air and can flow in. If the choke is closed, less air flow down through the pipe and the venturi suck in more fuel, so the engine gets a fuel mixture. That's handy when the engine is cold. First starting up and running quite slowly. Beneath the venturi there a second valve called in the throttle. The more the throttle is open, the more air flow through the carburetor and the more fuel in it drag in from the pipe the side. With more power, with more fuel and air flowing in, the engine releases more energy and makes more power and the car goes faster. That's why opening the throttle makes a car accelerate. It's the equivalent of blowing on a compared supply more oxygen and making burn more quickly. The throttle is connected to the accelerator pedal in the car that on or throttle on the handlebar the motorcycle. The fuel inlet to a carburetor is slightly more complex than we've described it so far. Attached the fuel pipe there is a kind of mini fuel tank called a float filled chamber. As the chamber fill, feed fuel to the carburator, the fuel level sinks, and the fluid falls with it. When the fluid drops below a certain level, it's open a fuel allowing fuel into the chamber to refill uh, it it from the main gas tank. Once chamber is full, the fluid rise close the valve and the fuel feed switches off again. Summary, then here's how it works. Airflow into top the carburetor from the coarse air intake passing through a filter that cleans it of debris. 2. When the engine is first started, the choke can be set so it almost blocks the top of the pipe to reduce the amount of air coming in. 3. In the center of the tube, the air reports to a narrow king called a venturi. This makes it speed up and causes pressure drop. To drop in air, pressure creates suction on the fuel pipe, drawing in fuel. The throttle green is a valve that swivels to open or close the pipe. When the throttle is open, more air fuel flow to the cylinder, so engines produce more power uh, and the cars goes faster. The mixture of air and fuel flow down into the cylinder. Fuel orange is supplied from a mini fuel tank called, called the fluid feed chamber. As the fuel level falls, a fluid in the chamber falls and open a valve at the stop. Okay, this my video and next my video coming soon. Thank you.